what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello everybody and welcome in to RMR Money Racing here at Daytona International Speedway. We got a good one in store for you tonight in the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series, and it is the warm-up to the prelude. This is going to be these drivers' last chance tonight to get some practice in these Next Gen cars and try to get themselves some money before we get ready for the big race towards the middle of February. Right now we're taking a look on track. Raymond Rittenauer II. That 87 car, and this guy knows how to run fast on these tracks, especially when it comes to qualifying. A lot of drivers try to follow Raymond, try to follow what he does. So we're going to let a couple of these things get loaded in here, get situated before we get started. If you are just tuning in, thank you for joining us here tonight, Tuesday night. We'll have a couple things to go over. What we're going to do though is give quick little refresh here to SDK, hopefully get everything in nice working order before it's time to actually get rolling here. See Raymond though is going to dive down low. That's probably going to be what his top lap's going to be. It's looking like, although we don't have the board up yet, from what I have, it looks like Andrew Navarro is currently sitting on the pole. Yeah, you see it up there now, starting to load in. Andrew Navarro currently is going to take first. His qualifying may have just wrapped up. As a matter of fact, not yet. Let's take a look at some of these other drivers on track. Take a look at Ian Martin here. 98 car. Let's see if we can take a look at the time. There you go. So we got about 45 seconds left here in qualifying. And one thing to talk about with these next-gen cars that we don't see, as usually these guys are racing in the trucks or the Xfinity cars, is the next-gens do race quite a bit different. I would like to say a little bit, but it's definitely more than just a little bit. One of the big factors, key factors with them is it seems like the runs are a lot more extreme, and they can stall out a lot quicker. It's not as consistent as when we're in the trucks and Xfinity cars. But you can see sometimes 2 or just 3 guys, if they link up, you want to stay stuck together as long as you can. Because the longer you're on the guy in front of you's bumper, the farther up you guys are going to go. Andrew Navarro, Mr. Incredible right there. It looks like that is going to wrap it up for qualifying. You see the white flag come out. That'll set us up to go to your grid in just a second. All right, let's take a look at it. Looks like, as we kind of saw there, taking the pole tonight, starting first is going to be Andrew Navarro in the 42 car. Second is going to be Autumn Koger. Third, Garrett Maines to his outside is going to be Ian Martin. Fifth, Matt Lee. Sixth, Raymond Rittenauer the second. A little surprised Raymond couldn't snatch the pole tonight, but seventh is going to be Daniel Eberhardt the third, followed by Sean Hill in eighth. Ninth, Ken McCall Jr. 10th is going to be Daryl Young. 11th is going to be, looks like Michael Triscaro. That's a new driver in here tonight. Wish the best to Michael. 12th is going to be Matthew Baker. 13th, Dylan Jones. 14th, Jason Maines. 15th, Carl Stanton. 16th, Ambrose Kniebel. And 17th is going to be Christopher McCall. And I'll tell you what, from what we had about an hour ago, this is shaping up to be a very strong field. 17 cars is nothing to be ashamed of. As we have heard feedback from these drivers, usually these guys aren't too big of a fan of the next gens. It's just a lot different. We're definitely not used to seeing them. So glad to see everybody get out here tonight. Even just get some practice in. We'll go ahead and, while the pace car's sitting here, go over your race info. You know where we're at, Daytona International Speedway. Big 2.5 mile super speedway. And we are under the lights. It always seems to make it better, doesn't it? Looks like we have a little bit of wind in play tonight. 10 miles an hour shouldn't be too much of a factor, but definitely could help these drivers a little bit depending on which direction it's coming from. I believe it is a 40 lap event here tonight. Like we said, it is the RMR warm-up to the prelude. It's going to be 100 miles, so that is 40 laps. 2.5 times 40 gives you that. And these drivers are getting ready to roll off. Again, you're watching the Green Ghost on Ghost Racing Network. We thank you for joining in. Let's head back up front here now. Give a shout out to the man who's going to be leading these boys and Autumn to green tonight. That's Andrew Navarro. He's actually falling back for the moment, but he's going to get back up there. I tell you what, that's a good-looking car right there. I like that. Almost kind of looks like it's like Brad Keselowski. Oh, I dropped my foot. Looks like it's Brad Keselowski kind of paint scheme. It's a good-looking one either way. Let's go ahead and pull up. One of the things that you guys heard me say before, I do like about Daytona more than Talladega is we get a lot better camera angles. That makes our Crank It Up segment, which we will do later tonight, a lot more fun than it normally is. And while these guys, we are going to take just a quick intermission just to turn off a couple of sounds real quick right before we go green here. I'll be right back. Can't really do that right now. So we're going to leave this one setting alone. We're just going to see if we can change one more real quick. Nope, we're not going to have time tonight. Shouldn't be a big deal. We're just going to see if we can mute some notifications. You guys didn't have to hear it, but like I said, not too big of an issue. And we will go ahead and reset the tower for you real quick. That'll be back up momentarily. But pace car is going to take a hard left right here. He's going to pull off pit road. Andrew Navarro, he's ready to go to his outside. Autumn Koger, she's going to have Ian Martin pushing her. Green flag is out. Looks like a pretty even restart, and it's good to see the Cup Series back here at Daytona under the lights. Into turn one, they're still dead even. It looks like that inside actually has a little bit of advantage. Ian Martin's going to drop down low real quick. Andrew Navarro has a mirror full of Garrett Maines right now. We'll see if Garrett decides to make a move. Those two seem to like to work together. Oh, no, Garrett Maines is not having any of it. He jumps to the outside, side drafts the 6th car, doesn't get any help for the moment. They are already 3 wide. See the 6th car, that's Autumn Koger. She's getting wiggly back there. Garrett Maines now finds some help from the 87. That's Raymond Rittenauer the second. They are three wide already. Daniel Eberhardt in the 90 car. He's making a run up top. He's got Ken McCall Jr. behind him. Now Garrett Maines is going to slide up. Oh, he just gets up in time. That's going to leave the 87 car in the middle with nowhere to go. Jason Maines now is going to move to the middle, pick up that 87 car. First lap, though, is going to go to Garrett Maines on the outside, and Daniel Eberhardt and him have linked up, and they are absolutely flying. This is what we were talking about that you can do in these next-gen cars you can't do in the trucks or Xfinity. When you link up with that driver in front of you, you can absolutely take off. As you just saw, only 2 cars managed to almost pull away from the pack, and now we see the 03 here, Ken McCall Jr. He's lined up with his teammate right behind him, Adam Koger. And they're going to play a little patient right now. They know we have a lot of laps here. We are going to have at least 1, if not 2 pit stops. These do hold more fuel than the trucks, so we may actually only see 1 pit stop. You see it's starting to single file out just a little bit up front. The back, though, they're still going at it. You see Matthew Baker in the top lane back there. I think that's, see Jason also in the top lane here. Just behind Jason. That might be the new driver. It is. Let's give a shout out to this driver here. I think that's Michael Triscaro. It is. You see him on the bottom right now. He has Andrew Navarro, your pole sitter, who has fallen back pretty far early. They're trying to get something going. Another thing with these next-gen cars that you don't see is they just don't really run the bottom as fast as the trucks and Xfinity. That's why you see all these guys pretty much lined up in that top lane right now, and it's working. The bottom's going to have to really push, and you see it happening right there. Andrew Navarro pushing really hard on the bumper of Michael, trying to get him up there. These cars do wiggle around, but they do seem to be a little bit more stable under really aggressive pushing than what we see in the trucks. And we are 4 laps in, and I'm telling you, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Garrett Maines continues to lead, followed by Daniel Eberhardt. 3rd right now, Ken McCall Jr. 4th, Michael Triscaro, and 5th, Adam Koger. And we finally see that bottom line. They finally caught back up. They're starting to get a little bit of momentum now, but they fall back out. Let's go back a little bit, see what some of these guys toward the back. We got Carl Stanton here, sitting a little bit farther back right now. 88 car, he is going to be following right now. Dylan Jones, Dylan playing it safe. He doesn't have his teammate right now. His teammate's up there in the front. Daniel Eberhardt, Christopher McCall we see here. One of the McCall Motorsports teammate. He's just kind of riding as well right now in that 17 car. Matt Lee, another driver, kind of towards the middle of the pack right now, creeping up. He knows we got plenty of laps here. Not going to be too aggressive too early, but your new leader, ladies and gentlemen, now is Michael Triscaro in the 34 car. Working the inside with a huge push from Andrew Navarro, who now jumps out of line. Finds his way back down. Matt Lee cuts him a break. And look at these guys fly when they are linked up. He gets clear, but he decides to stay low for the moment. Seems like the top lane's the place to be. The momentum seems to stick with it just a little bit better. Nothing right now, though. The inside's starting to show a little bit of dominance. Still 2 by 2 as we complete lap 6. And I'm not sure if... Let me take a quick look here. See if I can check the fuel window. But let's ride on board with one of these guys that we see pushing around. Let's take a ride on board with Daniel Eberhardt here, because I think he's about to try to link up. And him and Garrett Maines about to go forward right here. See him gets right on the bumper. That 31 car. And you see the speed they're generating down the backstretch. And one thing to note, I did just check to verify, it is actually 100% fuel tonight. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be really close, I would think, for some of these drivers. As I know the Xfinity cars, you can get 35 laps out of them as long as you're running pretty conservative. But these guys sure don't look like they're running conservative right now. So they must either know that they're good or they know they're going to have to pit, one of the two. It shouldn't be really any kind of strategy. It should be pretty cut and dry. As we see Dylan Jones kind of falling back here. It looks like he's maybe lost the draft. And he looks a little off pace. Yeah, that car doesn't sound like it's completely under power here. Let's see what Dylan's looking at here. Take a look at his dashboard. He's running pretty decent speed right now. Not sure what happened. Daryl Young back here. And you can see the difference here. We'll go back and show you one more time. Look in the bottom right of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dylan Jones by himself. He is full throttle, and you see about 180, maybe 181 is going to be the top speed. And we go up here to someone in the draft, such as Michael Triscaro, Garrett Maines, and look at the difference in speed. I'm talking 7 to 10 miles an hour faster. These guys are up to 195. That's all you got to do if you link up. You can make progress just like that. Them boys are hauling. Who would have known we would have seen this much aggression here on a Tuesday night? And I think this aggression warrants for a Tuesday night. Crank it up. Here we go. And that is going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. I hope everybody did enjoy that. Garrett Maines still holding the lead right now. You see that top lane starting to form up a little bit more right now as it looks like a couple storylines here. This is one thing I did not notice. Ambrose Knievel is currently a lap down. Not sure what happened to Ambrose here. Is it actually, let's go take a replay here of what happened to Ambrose. And we will take a look here at Cam that we can actually see what happened. He's already in the grass here at this point. So what happened to the 13 car? Let's back this up a bit. You see them racing in the pack here, and we must have missed this during that Crank It Up segment. Let's watch here. He's tucked in line behind the 98 of Ian Martin. It looks like he's kind of going up, and the 17's kind of come down. Let's take a look at that from chopper view, actually. It's a little bit hard to tell right there. Let's see. This is from chopper. Oh, and the 17 kind of just comes down. That's Christopher McCall. Not sure what happened there, but then you see Ambrose. Those two make contact. Ambrose squeezes the 17 in the wall after he's already hit. He's lost control at this point. Just along for the ride. It's going to spin down through the grass. And that's unfortunate for Ambrose Knievel. Not the start he wanted by any means. Dylan Jones still back by himself at the moment. And we have Christopher McCall and Carl Stanton. Haven't talked about Carl yet tonight. And I think some of these drivers are going to need a caution as that thins the herd just a slight bit up front. Garrett Maines, though, has shown dominance so far tonight as we now see his teammate Matthew Baker creeping into the picture on the low side. Didn't really see Matthew up here in qualifying like we a lot of times do. But he is making his way up here quick. 87 Raymond Rittenauer the second. He's going to drop down, and Matthew does have his teammate Jason Maines behind him. And I think those three are about to link up and make a lot of progress in a hurry here. Let's take another ride on board here with Baker. And we'll watch. You see the job he's doing here. This is something else to note. We'll watch if he does it here before I say it, but you can believe you can. Let's see here. Yep, and you see it right here. You can actually push through the turns in the next gens. You saw him do it through the tribal, and you saw him doing it through the turn. And that's what I was going to say. Another thing that, well, many people don't like it, I kind of can appreciate about these next gens. It actually adds that little bit of skill set and that little bit of area where you can make extra progress. In the trucks and Xfinity, you really can't push in the turns. If you try to, it's usually room for a spin out. But you see these two pushing on the bottom, making progress. Daniel Eberhardt now jumps to the middle. Oh, yep, Ken McCall Jr. is going to fall. That's going to put Garrett Maines by himself. His teammates are all on the bottom. He's got no help right now on that outside line. Oh, now they're wrecking. The 90's in the wall. Garrett Maines spins. Caution is out for the first time. 90's going to slide back down the track. And that'll draw our first caution of the night. Was not expecting that one, but we saw him starting to get a little crazy. Let's go back and take a look at what brings out your first yellow for the night. Let's take a look. See if we get a better view here. I think I like TV1 here. So we're going to watch. You see the 90... Daniel Eberhardt in the middle. Looks like Matthew Baker might already be a little sideways. There might have been some oh, yep. That's what it's looking like. Let's see if we can see it in slow first. Watch that 5 car. Matthew Baker. He's following the 87 up. Oh, and it looks like he maybe just makes slight contact with the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. They both wash up. Garrett Maines hits the wall pretty hard. Got to think that's going to knock the toe link out of one or both sides of that car. Daniel Eberhardt gets turned around here. Backs it into the wall. May not be too bad of damage for him. Might have something broken in the toe link, though. You see him now just rolling backwards. Minimizes the damage after. But I want to take one more look here from an aerial view. I'm not sure. Sometimes this actually happened to me the other night. People don't realize that you kind of get tunnel vision where the car. All right, so watch this 5 car on the bottom here. Matthew Baker. I'll actually go to him here if we can. Right here. And let's see if he washes up a little bit here. You see he's on the 87's bumper here. Oh, man, just slight, if anything. 90 maybe came down just as... That's just one of them racing deals. But those guys will go and fix any damage. Good thing about these next gens, they do take damage a little bit nicer than the trucks and Xfinity cars would. While we're under caution, though, here, these guys will probably pit just to make sure they are good on fuel. Wouldn't be surprised if they don't, though. But it looks like they are. 87 is going to pull down. Matthew Baker is also going to pull down. And that's going to draw pretty much the whole field for what was left. It looks like you see Garrett Maines, Andrew Navarro, Daniel Eberhardt. 2 of those cars caught up in the wreck. Making their way down now. They should give Ambrose Kniebel, though, the lucky dog. Let's go check out. And it looks like it is, as he is currently staying out. Tip of the hat to Ambrose Kniebel now. Going to put himself back in contention after a little bit of trouble early. But up front now, that's going to put Ken McCall Jr. in the 03 car, followed by teammate Autumn Koger second. Sean Hill is going to win the race out of pit row. That's going to put him third. Then we're going to have Matthew Baker fourth, and rounding out the top 5 right now is going to be Raymond Rittenauer the second. Just as I would say, while we're under caution here, I want to remind everyone what this race is a warm-up to. It's a warm-up to the prelude to the Daytona 500, one of the biggest races in sim racing for the year, hosted by Ron Morris Racing. I don't know if you can see it, but these are big payouts. First place, $1,200. Second, $725. And this is an old poster, ladies and gentlemen. He has brought on Butt Kicker as one of the new sponsors. He's going to be giving away a Butt Kicker unit. And those are big cash prizes, so don't miss out on that. It's one of the biggest ones of the year. Get yourself prepared, ready for the actual NASCAR season. One of the things that I kind of was talking about with somebody the other day is I'm really excited. We are kind of getting into that exciting time for sim racing as we are kind of on the way, on the countdown, if you will, to Speed Weeks. A lot of big events coming up. I know FEG Jeff Ford just announced something about Duck Goose says any fast repair. Yes, there should be a fast repair. I will double check that for you, but I have yet to see one of these without a fast repair, and I do remember seeing it. So, yep, there is one fast repair, unlimited tires, 100% fuel. So those guys that got in a wreck, they'll either fix their damage or they will use a fast repair. But, yeah, as I was saying, we know that FEG PC is going to have, he just kind of announced, if you will, like a mini Speed Week within the iRacing community. So that's going to be an exciting event, and we'll see if we can hopefully find some broadcasts to do for Speed Weeks. Everybody pretty much booked up right now, but Man, I sure enjoy broadcasting ones like these. These guys are putting on a good show tonight. This is making my job easy, as I'm more like a spectator than I am a commentator. 6 of Autumn Koger now going to be starting first on that outside line. She started there at the beginning of the race. One thing she didn't have was her teammate Ken McCall Jr. below her. And we'll see if these two can choreograph something here. We'll see. Not sure if it'll work out or not. Looks like Autumn did update her SDK. We can now see the picture. Hometown, Asheville. Good to see you there. And for what initially turned out like it may have been a little bit more of a casual night, not as much of the aggressive racing as we thought we would see, it is sure changed in a hurry. 17 cars, and they have been going at it from the drop of the green. And now they are going to be good on fuel, and that means whatever we just saw, we can pretty much say that the racing is going to be even more aggressive than that. Pace car's lights are off. He's going to pull onto pit road this time. Ken McCall Jr. on the bottom. He's going to have Sean Hill, another teammate, pushing him. Matthew Baker pushing Autumn Koger, but he has teammate Jason Maines behind him. We'll see if he goes 3 wide or decides to stick low. Green flag is back out. 22 here to go at RMR Money Racing. See Andrew Navarro already shuffling to the top. That is going to put Sean Hill all by himself right now on the bottom. We'll see if teammate Autumn Koger decides to drop low. She doesn't. She knows how important it is to stay on the top lane. That's where all the momentum's going right now. You take a look at this pack. They're already 3 wide. Sean Hill just no help. Daniel Eberhardt finally now to the middle, but he's going to drop low. And it looks like that 2 car went just about all the way to the back. Matthew Baker, oh, with a late block. You saw the sparks fly there. Wow, that was close, but a nice move from Matthew Baker in the 5 car. That's going to give him the lead. He's being pushed by Daryl Young in the Vikings car. Ken McCall Jr., they're going to slide up. Oh, Ken gets a little wiggly. Keeps it together, but they're wrecking out back. They're wrecking big time out back. Into the trial, caution is out. Jason Maines and Autumn Koger. You see the 87. Raymond Rittenau, the second, slide back into it. And this one collects a bunch of them. Second caution of the night. Let's go take a look at it. Let's go to a better view here. Let's go to where this starts. It started more towards the middle. Gonna have to probably pick and choose. Let's take a look at Jason Maines here, because I know he was involved in it. Not that he started it by any means, but he was involved. Let's take a look first from Chopper so we can see where this started, then we'll actually take a look at the wreck unfold. You see 3 wide here, the 87 in the middle. Not sure exactly who that is doing, is inside. And they just kind of, looks like whoever was on the inside, kind of makes their way up. That's the 011. That's Dylan Jones. See Dylan kind of coming up, and the 87 coming down. Okay, so it looks like one of those cases where they both were going to go for the middle lane. They both slide up, slide right into Autumn Koger, and this wreck is going to just start cleaning all of them out here. See Jason Maines right there gets involved in it. A lot of them sliding through the grass. One thing I will say is I didn't see a lot of hard hits. You see the 87's right wheel there kind of wiggling. That means he's got a broken toe link. So that might be a faster pair or at least a decent amount of time. But a lot of these guys, you see it here, just kind of sliding through the grass. Looks like Garrett Maines maybe slides through that, actually. Let's take a look at what he did here. I didn't actually see him hit anything. You see he's pulling low here. Oh, he might have got tapped in the back, but that should be okay. And look at him just kind of drift it all the way through the grass. Some nice avoidance by him and the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. But that one definitely collected a lot of drivers. Not sure if a lot of them have day-ending damage or will even need to use the faster pair even. But that is going to shuffle up your top 5 just a little bit. Matthew Baker is your current leader. Matthew's doing a really nice job out here tonight, followed by Daryl Young, who we've seen make his way up here. Matt Lee, 04 car. Andrew Navarro, 4th. Rounding out the top 5 now is Ian Martin. And I heard Ian before the race. He was talking about the importance of teammates in this. And he actually had said to me, he said in the chat rather, he said, I don't think I will have a shot at winning tonight unless something miraculous happens. But I don't think that's true, Ian. I'm watching you right now, man. You got yourself in the top 5 with 20 to go. You're looking pretty solid to me. Hopefully we're talking to Ian when this thing's all said and done. Matthew Baker, though. How about that move he made during that last little stint that we had, you saw him drop down just in the nick of time. It was so close. We actually saw some sparks. And you talk about putting it where it don't fit. That's what he just did right there. But it was a good move. Gets him out in front. And if you want to avoid wrecks like that one we just saw, you're going to want to be out in front. See Dylan Jones here pulling back on track. Autumn Koger looks like she has a little bit of damage to that left side. I'll tell you what, it's kind of, yeah, you can see it there, but it's been hard to see the damage on these cars. A lot more durable. Durable and not in the same way. The bodies seem more durable than the trucks in Xfinity. Unfortunately, though, you can't, it doesn't take as hard of a hit in these cars on the right or left front to break the toe link. Daniel Eberhardt made his way back out. Ken McCall Jr. is going to pull down pit road. Ambrose Knievel, he's back in 9th after he went a lap down. Looks like currently we don't have anybody a lap down, even with that wreck, so that is good to see. Christopher McCall, we see up here. And Garrett Maines, who we saw slide right by that wreck, puts himself in 6th, just outside the top 5. He's going to be looking to link up with this guy, the man in charge right now. Some of these other teams, you got to wonder, what are they going to do? We see it time and time again. I hate to say it, but it kind of does seem like we have the same guys up front. They figure out a way each and every time we do this. And you see someone right there, Matthew Baker, Andrew Navarro, Garrett Maines. That is a dangerous trio to line up on that top lane, especially when we know that in the next gens, the top is getting more momentum usually. So they're going to have to figure something out on the bottom. They do have Matt Lee, Daryl Young, Ian Martin. Those are also 3 strong drivers. They're going to try to put a fight to this outside lane. Again, if you are just joining in, it's RMR Money Racing. This is the warm-up to the prelude to the Daytona 500, which is going to be happening, I think it's February 18th. We will run the advertisement again later. But tonight, it's been a strong showing from all 17 drivers. We've had 2 cautions so far, and we're going to be coming to 18 to go, and we take the green. This is going to get exciting. And we will go ahead and ride the spotter view. This is one of my favorite views because you can kind of see majority of the field throughout pretty much the whole track. But actually, I think for this restart, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's take a look at the blimp cam here. And I want you to watch which lane links up quicker. That is usually the deciding factor. Green flag is back out. Matt Lee gives Daryl Young a bump, but it doesn't look like it's enough. You see that top lane. They're already linked together. And I think they're going to stay that way. Look at the gap they're already putting on those 2 on the inside. Matt Lee now jumps high. Daryl Young with no help. Here comes Ian Martin. But they are falling back in a hurry. That 6 car is still linked to the 5 of Matthew Baker. 31, Garrett Maines. 04, Matt Lee. They're starting to get a run now. We'll see if they decide to take it or if they're going to stay where they are. Now we'll go to that spotter view. And they are still linked on. How about that? They have been linked up. Finally breaks off of them there. But just like that, gets right back on his bumper. I was going to say, these 2 have been pretty much tucked together since the drop of the green. One of the beautiful things we can see in these next gens is sort of that tandem drafting that we haven't seen since the era of the car of tomorrow. Which I do want to see a race with those cars at a track like this. Ooh, you see Daniel Eberhardt a little farther back. He's pushing hard on Ian Martin, trying to get those 2 to the front. Ian's not wanting any of it. He's going to drop low, get behind Daniel. We actually see some separation right here. Let's pull up the track map, take a look. That pack not quite as tight as they were earlier. We'll see if they can all eventually group back together. If you have 4 cars, you can make a lot of progress quick here as we go 2 by 2 up front. Looks like Andrew Navarro's going to make a move. He's going to have help from Matt Lee. Oh, he bumps the apron just a little bit. He's got to catch it. Does a nice job. Ooh, boy, Matt Lee slides it right up there. Daniel Eberhardt drops to the bottom. These cats are going at it right now. Matthew Baker getting a huge shot from his teammate Garrett Maines. Those 2 I don't think will make a move on each other right now. Staying tucked together. Now back to single file. How about that move, though, from Daniel Eberhardt? Showing some aggression. And ooh, let's take a look here. I want you to watch his telemetry. He's got Andrew Navarro linked on his bumper. Look at the speed. 197, 99, 200. They are absolutely flying. We'll see if they take the run. They do to the inside of Ian Martin. They're still linked together. About 200 miles an hour into the corner. Matthew Baker's not going to be able to block in time. You see Garrett Maines. He's dropping down low to try to hold a side draft. It's not going to be enough, though. Daniel Eberhardt takes the lead. He stays low for the moment. We'll see if he decides to go back up high. Matthew. Oh, they throw a little bit of a late block. but it's going to stick. Matthew Baker has to tuck in behind Andrew Navarro. He's pushing right now with all he can. Those two are going to drop to the bottom as soon as they get a run, I promise you. They don't have it yet. Watch for those two to link up. Let's take a look. And we have seen some outstanding racing tonight. Some of the best I have seen in a while. And we still got 15 laps to go. Matthew Baker, you see him creating that little bit of a gap between him and that 6 car. Oh, you see the gap now. They're going to try to get a run here. Drop low, but they're not going to be able to in time. It's the 34. That's Michael Triscaro. He's going to make the move before they even have a chance. 3 wide now. Looks like Michael jumps in the middle. Oh, he's going to go down. He turns the 2 car. That's Sean Hill. He spins around in the grass, slides back up on the tri-oval. And he hits the outside wall. No caution. We're still green. Rolls it back down to the apron. He's trying to get that thing going. It's going to spin it back around. That's a tough break for Sean Hill. Let's go take a look real quick. Actually, hold on. Before we do that, I just heard some comm. Let's see if caution may have came out. And it has. Caution is out. Gotta believe it's for this incident. Let's take a look. Yep, that is what it's going to be for the 2 car of Sean Hill rather, spinning. Let's take a look here. I saw some contact. Looked like Michael Triscaro was kind of feeling it. Maybe he got a little loose here. Let's take a look from the spotter view here. See, the 34 is going to kind of wash up a little bit here. 2 may have gave him a little bit of a bump. Keeps it pretty straight from. Yep, now you see the 2 going to bump him just a little bit in the left rear. That kind of offsets him a little bit. And then it looks like he's going to come back down here. Not sure if he thought he was clear. Yeah, just not really clear. 2 car was about half a door up. They make contact. You see here, Sean's going to spin it, and then he gets tagged. Nothing he can do now. He's got the brakes locked up, trying to get that thing stopped. Doesn't want to go back up on the track if he can help it. Looks like Michael Triscaro is going to do a pretty good save here. Keeps himself straight. Unfortunately, though, for Sean Hill, you see him slides back up. And it looks like he is going to back that thing into the wall. It's a pretty solid shot. Hard to say if that'll affect him too much. Doesn't look like much damage. But either way, that is what's going to bring out your 3rd caution of the night. Your new leader, though, we didn't get time to go back up front. The action was absolutely phenomenal during that little stretch. But back up front now, your new leader is going to be Daniel Eberhardt in the 90 car, followed by Matthew Baker, Darrell Young, Garrett Maines, who will then be starting behind his teammate Matthew Baker. Those will be a dangerous 2 to watch. And rounding out the top 5, Andrew Navarro. This is going to help some of those drivers that it looked like we saw falling behind. I think one of them may have been Ken McCall Jr. But he's going to get back up here now. He's not going to pit. We did see some drivers pit here. Let's go take a look at the pit road camera. It looked like a decent amount of them maybe pit. Yes, a lot of drivers pit. We'll see who wins the race off, but I'm seeing Andrew Navarro, Raymond Rittenauer the second, Jason Maines I saw on there. Little surprising. Not sure why so many of these guys pit. Can understand the ones that have damage. But it looks like the 88 is going to win the race off pit road. That's Carl Stanton. Do apologize. 87, Raymond Rittenauer the second. Andrew Navarro still sitting on pit road here for a little while. Has not left yet. I'm not sure the deal is with some of these guys. You see Raymond now leaving. Andrew still sitting there. He may have had some damage. Really not sure. Kind of an interesting deal there. But we'll go ahead and run this ad real quick one more time for anybody that missed it earlier. This race is going to be the warm-up and the last race under the lights of Daytona International Speedway before we host one of the biggest events of the year. Ron Morris Racing lays host to the prelude to the Daytona 500. Big cash payouts all the way through the top 10 $50 entry. Already brought on one sponsor, North Carolina 811. Has brought on Butt Kicker as another sponsor. And I also got word today, if I believe this was correct, that Josh Bodwell over at SimCar, I believe, put in a stage 1 or a stage 2 sponsorship, which is going to add some winnings to first place. So that's certainly exciting. A lot of money that you could walk home with at around Speed Weeks. That will not be broadcasted by Ghost Racing Network. But you see it right there. It looks like it says broadcasted live by Full Send. Yep, Full Send. So go check them out for that race. Hopefully we'll be hanging around for different races and Speed Weeks. Let's get you back live though now. It's been a pretty eventful one so far. 3 cautions, not bad for a 40-lap race. Really, just a couple of mistakes, not silly mistakes, just kind of some racing deals. The one we just saw there almost didn't draw the caution. Unfortunately, sometimes you get in that grass, it gets a little slippery. One thing to note, let's see if we can take a better camera view at it here. You can't really see it here, but it kind of had looked like from some other cameras that marbles might have been left on tonight, which can make that top lane a little slick. Not sure if that was the case or not. But Daniel Eberhardt, and I tell you what, I don't blame him for picking the top lane. That's kind of seeming to be the theme of the night. He's going to have Garrett Maines behind him. I think he would have gladly took either one of these two cars as his pusher. But man, we see that top lane, when they get hooked up and they get going, they just seem unstoppable for the time being. Daniel's going to have to fight pretty hard here, though. As actually, you do see a little bit of damage to his left rear. That was from earlier. Did not seem to affect him at all during that last run, but he does still have to be a little bit careful, is what I was going to say, because Garrett Maines, if he gets clear, would not be too surprised if he decides to drop down low, because that would put him in front of his teammate Matthew Baker. Kind of see it there, those little black specks on the top line of the track. You got to wonder if those are potentially some marbles. See if it plays. But we're going to have 10 to go. It's going to be a 10-lap shootout here under the lights at Daytona International Speedway. Daniel Eberhardt's going to lead him to green. Matthew Baker to the inside. Garrett Maines, the pusher, on the outside. Daryl Young on the inside. Green flag is back out. Let's do it one more time here at Daytona. Daniel Eberhardt gets a good start, but it looks like the bottom lane might be able to link up first. A lot of cars bailing to the outside line already. Matthew Baker, Daryl Young linked up pretty quick, but now here comes the 31 of Garrett Maines. That bottom lane, though, has the momentum. Daniel Eberhardt probably didn't expect that. Garrett Maines, oh, he takes him 3 wide to the outside. And it looks like the 011, I'm not sure who that is. He's pushing Daniel Eberhardt. That's Dylan Jones, his teammate. That would be why. Matthew Baker, Garrett Maines, they found themselves linked together into turn 3. Really good pushing here from Dylan Jones. Ken McCall Jr. thought about 3 wide, can't do it. He's going to tuck in line now. Jason Maines, he's going to go up top. 3 teammates up top versus 2 on the bottom. Ken McCall Jr. kind of the odd one out right now, looking for some help. He's going to have Ambrose Knievel coming behind him. I believe it was originally a top 3 payout tonight. I don't know if we changed that back to the top 5. Increased entries. 9 to go. You see the top lane starting to prevail for the moment, but Matthew Baker starting to create a little bit of separation. That third car on the top line, once he gets a run, he'll probably drop to the bottom. He'll have help from 2 teammates of Garrett Maines, Jason Maines. But they're going to have to do it before Ken McCall Jr. There it goes. All 3 of them drop low. That's going to leave Daniel Eberhardt and Dylan Jones by themselves on the outside. It's only 2 of them. We'll see what they can do. Matthew Baker getting a big run. It's not going to be enough, though. Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhardt holds him off for the moment. Now he's clear. We'll see what he does with it. He stays low. Sparks flying as they work their way out of turn 4. Oh, Matthew Baker back to the high side. It looked like he had to throw a little bit of a late block. Makes it work on Daniel Eberhardt. And that's going to put Garrett Maines on the bottom. Oh, Daniel's going to try to jump down low. He is clear. Gets a little bit of a side draft on Matthew Baker. Into turn 1, still side by side. Give the advantage now back to Eberhardt. We'll see if he decides to go back up high. Dylan Jones starting to push. Yep, Garrett Maines kind of forcing him out of the way. That's going to put Garrett in the middle. Oh, we see some contact in the wall. And it looks like they all keep it together. Oh, no, now they're wrecking Dylan Jones in the wall. Matthew Baker hard into the outside wall. See one spinning through the grass. Caution back out. 4th caution of the night with 8 to go. Let's take a look at this one. Let's take a look from the view where you can see almost straight down the backstretch. I know it's one of these. This one's pretty good. Let's take a look at what kind of happens here. You see the 03 kind of wiggly. They already kind of got messed up. Yeah, you see the 2. Sean Hill kind of bob out of line. He might have been avoiding something. He hits Dylan Jones, who goes into Matthew Baker. Matthew Baker tags the outside. Well, that's a pretty solid hit. Not as hard as I initially thought. But yeah, you can kind of see the front and the hood buckled a little bit there. That might be a little bit more damage than he's comfortable running with. And he might have to use his fast repair, or if nothing else, sit in pit road to get that thing fixed. Man, he was having a good run too. You hate to see it. But if anyone can recover from this, it would certainly be Matthew Baker. So we'll see what he can do. Not sure. I thought I saw one car going through the grass on this. Rose Knievel here. He looks okay. Christopher McCall. Might have been the 88. Not sure. And actually, it might have been Ambrose. Let's take a look. So this is when I think this, yeah, this is when this wreck starts happening. See, Ambrose kind of behind everyone else. Looks like 1788 made slight contact, keeping it. Yep, looks like Ambrose is going to be that car that's going to go through most of the grass right here. Looks like he gets it back on track, no problem. We'll go back up front because this is going to cause a little bit more shuffling. Jason and Garrett are going to lose their third teammate right now. But first, at the moment, is going to be Jason Maines second, Daniel Eberhardt third, Ken McCall Jr. fourth, Garrett Maines, and fifth, Sean Hill, who we saw have just a slight bit of an eventful night. Nothing really on his part, but unfortunately he has been involved into the caution. Still managing to keep that thing in the top 5, though. So he's certainly looking good. And we will have to see Matthew Baker, who is currently just now pulling out of his pit box, can recover and get back up here. I've seen him do it from worse. I'd be surprised to see him do it here. It looks like that hood's nice and straightened out. He may have used a fast repair on that thing. Especially this late in the race, you definitely can't go a lap down. I think that's what he was trying to avoid. While these guys are pacing, we are going to run one more ad real quick. We'll be right back. And I'll tell you what, it has been a pretty eventful night. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Green Ghost on Ghost Racing Network. It's the warm-up to the prelude to the Daytona 500. And I have not seen racing this aggressive in a while. Didn't think we would see it initially from these next-gen cars. But these guys have used all the tools in their workshops to make this one of the best races I've seen in a couple weeks. If next gens race like this all the time, we might be seeing a little bit of a new era coming in to iRacing here. It almost seems like one of those things where the more chemistry you have with your teammates in these, the better it is. But we have seen some spoilers so far tonight, such as Ken McCall Jr. Daniel Eberhardt has had help from his teammate Dylan Jones, but even when he hasn't, we've seen him throwing his weight around a little bit up there. He's blocked high, low, made moves, made people work with him even if they didn't want to. Nice job on his part. And how about the 34 up here in 5th place? That's Michael Triscaro, one of the new drivers tonight. He seemed pretty excited pre-race. He's got himself now in the top 5. Good job to Michael. We'll see if he can get this thing done. Give a quick shout out to, we don't have an actual ad for it, but SimCar is hosting a truck race right after this event. Sundown Showdown, I believe it is a $23 entry fee now. For late registration, but you can go get yourself in on that. That will be streamed by Josh Bonwell over on the SimCar YouTube. Go check that out. Now, this is going to give us a 4-lap shootout. Sometimes you got to wonder, we know cautions can bring cautions. These guys are feisty tonight. We only have one car out, and that's going to be Carl Staton. Fortunate for Carl. But green flag is back out. Jason Maines took the high side. That's going to put his teammate Garrett Maines behind him. They link up real quick, no problem. Ken McCall Jr., though, on the bottom, fighting back. Not too many issues. And it looks like they're actually dead even as they work their way into turn 1. Jason Maines can't seem to get the advantage. I'll tell you what, that 03 car, he's doing a really nice job right now on Daniel Eberhardt's bumper. Pushing in with everything he's got. They're still side by side. Oh, 03 falls off for just a minute. You see, that's going to give the advantage to the outside. Jason Maines is going to get clear. He's going to try to bring his teammate Garrett Maines with him. It's going to work. They both get clear. They'll probably pull down to the bottom lane. Nope, they're going to stay high for the moment. Michael Triscaro now in the 34 car. Thought about it. Couldn't make it work in time. Matt Lee is going to think about 3 wide. Here he goes. Ducks down to the middle. Now thinks twice about it. Back to the outside. Daniel Eberhardt 03 is pushing, just can't quite seem to get anything working. 3 to go this time. Who's going to be the first one to jump out of line, see if they can get something going? You see a couple of them thinking about it. Oh, we see an aggressive dart. It looks like the 2-car, Sean Hill. Jason Maines still up front. We know Garrett probably won't make a move, at least until the last lap. Matthew Baker, and just like that, here he is back up here in 6th. And he's going to have to make a move. He wants to go to the front. Everyone tucking in line except Daniel Eberhardt. And watch out, he's got his teammate Dylan Jones behind him. Those two were dangerous earlier when they got linked up. We'll see what they can do with it now. Out of turn 4, still can't quite find each other's bumper for the moment. Jason Maines is going to lead him to 2 to go this time. Last chance for a caution if we get to the white flag. It's all or nothing. No more cautions once we get there. 34 of Michael Triscaro, showing a lot of patience. And for a rookie out here, he looks like a veteran, not making a move yet. He knows he's going to save it until the last lap. If you don't get help when you make that move, you are going straight to the back. We see the bottom lane back here trying to work. They can't seem to get anything going right now. But it looks like Matt Lee's going to tuck out, followed by Andrew Navarro. We'll see if these two can get anything. Ooh, they're going to pull side by side with Garrett and Jason Maines into turn 3. Jason's not going to be able to block. Oh, Andrew's pushing Matt Lee as hard as he can. He gets a little wiggly. And Garrett Maines and Jason have locked bumpers. Oh, we see Matt Lee get a little loose. Sparks are flying there 3 wide. Little contact. They're going to keep it together for the moment. White flag. Jason Maines still leading. 34, Michael Triscaro to the bottom. He doesn't have any help, though. They're 3 wide in the back. And Matthew Baker has now found his way to 3rd. That's going to put those 3 in the top 3 for the moment. No run yet on the bottom, but we see the 6 of Autumn Koger. Surely she'll try to get a run. Raymond Rittenauer the 2nd. We'll see what he can do. Final time down the backstretch. Yep, Autumn drops low. They're wrecking out back. It doesn't matter. Up front, there's still... Oh, Jason Maines still holding that outside in line. No move yet. 87's going to have about one more corner to do it. Ian Martin drops low, followed by Sean Hill. Here comes Matthew Baker. The 2 links up with him really nicely. It's going to be a drag race off of turn 4 for the final time. Oh, the 2 gets a little wiggly. At the start-finish line, it's going to be Jason Maines winning at Daytona. Jason Maines brings home first, followed by his teammate. 1-2 finish. But I will tell you what, that was some exciting racing those last 2 laps. Matthew Baker, by the way, did get back up to 3rd. So that's going to give those 3 teammates a top 3 sweep. Nicely done for Matthew Baker. We will try to get interviews from these top 3. Sometimes it is hard. It just depends. I try to tell them to join the chat, so we'll see who all gets in it. But how about that? And I think we might... And if Raymond does burnouts, that might be a signal. Oh, and what are we going to see here? This could be something different. Looks like Jason's going to park it. Now he's going to start burning it down. And they're trying to organize something here. Not sure what just yet. So we see Jason backing it through the grass. I think they tried something, maybe didn't quite work out as nicely as they were planning. But what I was going to say is, keep your eye on this 87. I thought it was limited to 3 teammates, but seeing that 87 up there doing burnouts with them, they may have added a new member to the team. And I'll tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to go back and see if we can get an interview from these top 3, so I will be right back. All right, I'm here with your third place finisher, Matthew Baker. Matthew, you got a copy.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, we saw you involved in that last caution, and initially I thought for sure there was no way you'd be able to get back up there in that short finish, but like the usual, you found a way, man. You brought it back all the way to third. Actually, maybe had a chance at the win there at the end. Fortunately, that didn't quite play out, but how did you manage to get all the way back up here to third place after that wreck?
I knew if we stuck to the top line, that the bottom line would eventually stall out, and we can get a run, and people would start their tries at the bottom and couldn't get there. But I knew if I just stayed there, I'd get back up to my teammates, and we made it work. Yeah, I saw Sean with the run there coming into four, and I really needed to get down because I thought him and McCullough were gonna hook up and push past Garrett and Jason. I just wanted to lead that line to at least preserve us with a first place, but it worked out even better.
Well, the teamwork certainly showed tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or sponsors to shout out?
Yeah, just thanks to Coasting Thunder, MBG Motorsports, Warriors Wraps, Baker and Son Construction. Thanks to Garrett, Jason, and Ray there. Glad we can have another good finish there. There's a lot of really good racing, a lot of good cars. We just going to take us a little bit to figure it out and have a nice clean race to put on for the prelude when it happens. And thanks for putting on the broadcast.
No problem, man. That was certainly some great racing. That's your third place finisher, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Baker. And now we are going to see if we have your second place finisher tonight, Garrett Baines. Garrett, you got a copy. Sounds like they're not quite in yet, so we're going to take one more quick break to go try to find them. We'll be right back. All right, and I am now here. I have found him with your second place finisher, Garrett Baines. Garrett, you got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, Garrett, we saw you pretty dominant early, actually pretty dominant throughout the race. But there towards the end, it looked like you might have had a couple chances at winning it, but you found yourself lined up behind your teammate Jason Maines, and you guys made it work all the way to the end. What was your thinking there about those last 5 laps? Did you think you want to make a move, or did you just want to keep Jason in front?
You know, they're at the last second. I probably could have made a move, but I was happy to push him to a win. I mean, the execution there at the end was phenomenal. I knew when we fended off the run from Matt and Andrew, we had a really good shot at it, and then found our teammates behind us at the end, and it all worked out.
It did certainly work out indeed. You guys finished 1, 2, 3, potentially 4. Is Raymond a new teammate that we might be seeing? I saw him doing burnouts with you guys.
It depends on the week, but definitely enjoy running with Ray. I actually learned most of my super speedway stuff from him, so it's cool to be able to work with him. And tonight definitely went perfect, really, at the end of the day.
All right, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or sponsors to shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to give a huge shout out to MCU Body and Linux, and I'll have a little bit longer list here coming up. Once the Coke Series announcements are made. But I appreciate you guys putting it on tonight, and hopefully it was a good show.
Certainly was a good show. That is your second place finisher tonight, Garrett Maines in the 31 car. And that's going to bring us to your winner tonight, Jason Maines. Jason, you got a copy?
Sure.
All right, Jason. Well, it looked like you really started to show dominance late in the running there, and then you started to get your teammates lined up behind you. Once you had Garrett behind you, you guys set sail, executed perfectly. How'd you get the win there at the end?
You got to have a lot of luck. This is a different style of racing, and we went to the back I think 2 or 3 times just to learn, and the moves panned out at the right time. The runs came at the right time, made the right moves, and then obviously when I got up with Garrett, and we tandem really good together, so that was a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, luck surely might be a part of it. We know it is. But if it's all about luck, you guys sure get lucky a lot. You guys executed perfectly tonight. But before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or sponsors to shout out?
I always thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first. Everything we do is for Him. That is why we are here. I got to thank my teammates there with Garrett and Baker and Ray. Really enjoyed running with them all the time. I got to thank Elliott Sadler Esports. I thank Lennox and Bradley Mechanical for all the support over the years, and I greatly appreciate everything. And looking forward to next couple of races, and learned a lot tonight. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank Ron for putting on the race.
All right, thank you, man. That's your winner tonight, Jason Maines.
Sir.
All right, we're going to take one more quick break here before we come and wrap it up with a couple more announcements. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. We're going to take a look real quick at pretty much just this last half a lap, as that's where it seemed like kind of most of the craziness kind of came from here. Give me one sec to hide this. I apologize for how loud that is. So we saw a couple, and we heard Matthew Baker talk about it in his interview. Sean Hill did get a run. He tried to go with him. Unfortunately, just got to think these guys maybe just ran out of time. We'll take a look at it from the spotter view. You saw a lot of dicing around back here. 34 of Michael Triscaro, who was so close to getting himself some money in his first race. Unfortunately, he gets caught up in an incident back there. Watch that 2 car. You see about a 5th car back. And he's going to drop down right here. See Matthew Baker, that's that run he was talking about. And it looked promising, but right here the 2's going to fall off of him just a little bit when he gets wiggly. And that's all the 2 cars of Jason and Garrett Maines needed on the outside to get it done right there at the line. So that is going to be your race winner for tonight, Jason Maines. Don't forget, one last time, Ron Morris Racing lays host next race to the Prelude to the 500. Big payouts, a lot of sponsors. Don't miss it. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We're starting a new page here on our intermission. We will be putting the logo of every person / company that we will have broadcasted for. Currently have 4, haven't got the FEG one up there yet. Hopefully we can get it soon, but just a cool little thing we like to see. We are looking for jobs, so if anybody knows anyone that needs a broadcast or anything, more than happy, let me know, or tell them to get with me on Discord. Thanks everybody for coming out. Don't forget SimCars hosting a race right after this. We'll see you next time.